We are here on the campus of Emporia State University, for those of you in attendance and those of you joining us virtually by the magic technology of live streaming, to honor the 113 very special individuals. Dating back to 1764 and as recent as October of last year, these are the professional educators who have lost their lives doing what they love doing, working with America's school children. While other professions have established memorials to their members who were killed in the line of duty, no such national tribute existed for those professionals in the field of education until now. America was shocked and horrified on December 14th of 2012 when the Sandy Hook Elementary School tragedy occurred, killing 20 children and 6 educators. And then the next month, Chuck Polland, a school bus driver in Midland City, Alabama, was slain while trying to protect the children on his school bus. These 7 brave individuals were the inspiration for this memorial. The research began, and it was astounding what we found. I want to say thank you to some very special people here today and ask them to stand as I recognize them. I want to say thank you to the National Teachers Hall of Fame Board of Trustees who supported and encouraged the project all along the way. So the board members, would you please stand? And to Emporia State University for so much of a donation that they have made. To Dr. Michael Shonrock, to Mark Runge, to Rich Jensen, and the crews that have worked tirelessly on our behalf. So I know Mark, Dr. Shonrock, Rich, if you're here, would you stand, please? To the people at Evergreen Design and Build, John and Justin Mallon, and Michael Ritchie, and the people who worked, especially Tim Burton, who was out there day and night, not only having a vision, but actually building what you're going to see today. To Keith Wallace for the design of the granite, and to Deanna and Mark Wagaman for the donation of the limestone. So to those builders, I say thank you. What you're going to see this afternoon at the corner of 18th and Merchant is our dream realized because of those people, those visionaries and those builders. And then behind the scenes, and many of you are in the audience today, are those individuals, the foundations, the corporate sponsors, and the education associations across the country that contributed so generously to the financing of the project. We are forever indebted for your generosity. And now we have some pictures that are going to be shown, I think, that will give you an idea of where we've come in the last 18 months. We broke ground in 2013, 1 year ago today. And we used the inductees from 2013 to break the ground. And today we're using the inductees from 2014 to actually do the dedication. We located the building of the memorial near the one-room schoolhouse, and the memorial excavation began by moving tons of dirt, leveling the plaza area, laying the concrete, developing the circular patio area, building a retaining wall out of natural limestone, shaping the limestone for the walkway walls, laying the bricks, installing the new lights, setting and cleaning the 2 benches, and I should say they weigh about 3,800 pounds. Unloading the granite pieces from the semi-truck that came from the quarry in Georgia. And then setting in place these huge granite pieces, the 2 granite brooks, as well as the donor's wall. And then adding 29 feet of signage so that everybody knows what it is. And then finally cleaning everything and setting everything up so that we could have the dedication ceremony today. And the weather cooperated, so we will be able to move on site. And as we want to say, the legacy begins. To the family members and friends here today to honor their loved ones, including Forrest Wiley, Mary Alicia Shanks, James McGee, Carolyn Foster, Leona Kyries, Bob Mars, and the Newtown Six. And to those who have supported our efforts through the year, we promise to maintain the memorial, to add improvements to make this an enduring tribute to these very special people, and to preserve our fallen educators' legacies on our website with their pictures and life stories. Hopefully, we will never have to add more names today and in the future. This should be a solemn reminder today that school tragedies should never happen. Thank you very much. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the president of Emporia State University, Dr. Michael Schonrock.
Thank you. What a good-looking group. Well, on behalf of Emporia State University, the Hornet Nation, I welcome each and every one of you and thank you for being here today. Let's take a moment to thank Carol and the National Teachers Hall of Fame one more time. Thank you. As you know, Emporia State University prides itself on being a wonderful teaching institution. Back in 1863, many of you were there. As you know, we have been around for a long time doing the greatest work, and that is teaching the future. I'm proud to be part of a wonderful campus that has a tremendous tradition of making differences in lives each and every day, and that's important for Emporia State University. Lots of lives have been touched, as we all know, and as we sit here today, we know the lives that have touched each and every one of us, all of them teachers, and we're so pleased to be part of this. I can't think of a better opportunity for Emporia State University not only to continue our wonderful partnership with the National Teachers Hall of Fame, but to host and serve as the host not only of the National Teachers Hall of Fame, but of this memorial in recognition of so many wonderful people that have given so much to this wonderful nation. So on behalf of a very grateful institution, thank you very much for being here. Thanks for being part of Emporia State University in this very special day, and thank you for being part of our community. It's a wonderful community, it's a wonderful place, and I always say, go Hornets, have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Schonrock. And now I'd like to introduce the mayor of the city of Emporia, John Geitz.
Thank you, Carol. On behalf of the city of Emporia, I'm pleased to welcome everyone to today's dedication ceremony of the long-awaited memorial to fallen educators. Residents of Emporia have watched as ground was broken 1 year ago today as the capital campaign drew state, local, and then national interest and financial support, and finally as the plaza began to take shape and become the beautiful showcase we'll see in a few minutes when we move to the site. This memorial has become a reality through the vision and hard work of many people, and this is truly a collaborative effort of the city, the university, the National Teachers Hall of Fame, and local businesses as each entity provided expertise and support for the project. When the Emporia City Commissioners received the request for funding, we were unanimous in our support for the project, and we were honored that the only national memorial to fallen educators is located right here in Emporia, appropriately nicknamed Teacher Town, USA. We've established an enduring tribute to the 113 names etched on the black granite books, and we are happy that you're here to celebrate with us today. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And now I'd like to bring to the podium Kathy Hurley, representing Pearson Foundation, and they have been with us from the very beginning. They helped us with the down payment check, so we're very grateful to them. Kathy?
Thank you, Carol, good afternoon, and thank you for inviting me to be here today. You know, I'm a former special education teacher from a very small town in New Jersey, so this is very meaningful for me. And I also was a very proud member of the New Jersey Education Association. So it's a true honor and privilege for me to be here as part of this dedication memorial for fallen educators. I'm really proud that Pearson Foundation chose to put money into this memorial, because our involvement has been a large involvement with NEA and the NEA Foundation over the years. We've worked with NEA and the Foundation to provide opportunities for teachers to expand in professional development by sharing unique experiences with them, such as the Asia Society Global Cities program. I work with teachers all over the world. We also work with the NEA Foundation, where I think last year or the year before, we took 30 to 40 teachers to China to talk to other teachers, and we also took another group of teachers to Brazil. So we've worked very closely on this Hall of Fame since I've been with Pearson for 12 years, and I know we've always supported this program. I just wanted to mention I'm here with a very good friend of mine, Judy Wilson, Dr. Judy Wilson, who got 2 degrees from Emporia and thinks Emporia State is the best thing going. And she encouraged me to be here today, and she's actually a former teacher also from New Jersey. So as I said, we've loved this relationship. I've been working with teacher groups for the last 40 years, and I think because we have this relationship, it even makes us more special. So often we know that there are negative attention or negative coverage is given to the teaching profession. So this event today not only shines a light of honor on our fallen colleagues, but it also shines a light of honor and respect for all teachers. The fallen educators that are here, we're here to honor today, are dedicated heroes to making the world a better place. When they entered the school building each day, they were not just teachers. They were mentors, they were friends, they were leaders, and ultimately they were heroes who gave their very lives in order to shape and mold the lives of others. They were heroes equipped with the best kind of weapons: knowledge, experience, and compassion. And they were heroes who knew the words of Nelson Mandela to be true, as he once said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." And change the world they did. We will be forever grateful for their sacrifices and for the young people they shaped who are beneficiaries of their knowledge and experience and compassion. Thank you again for letting me be part of this very special day.
Thank you, Kathy. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Thomas Kurowski, who is here representing the American Federation of Teachers, and he's from Newtown, Connecticut.
It's an honor to be here representing the American Federation of Teachers and the dedicated educators of Newtown, Connecticut. Randy Weingarten, the president of the AFT, couldn't be here today herself, but I know she joins me in thanking the National Teachers Hall of Fame and Emporia State University for this fitting tribute to the educators in Newtown and across the country who've lost their lives doing what they love to do best: nurturing, supporting, and educating America's school children. It's been less than 2 years since Newtown and Sandy Hook Elementary School were put on the map in the most horrific way imaginable. Every day since December 14, 2012 has been an uphill climb for all of us as we continue to learn and work our way towards our collective healing and recovery. The support that we have had from our national and state affiliate unions, AFT and AFT Connecticut, and their leaders, in particular Randy and Melody Peters, president of AFT Connecticut, has buoyed us during the times that have been most challenging of my personal and professional life. Before December 14, 2012, I never thought I would be standing here listening to Liesl read the names of the 6 of our colleagues and friends. Yet, after all that has happened, after all that we have been through, it is comforting to know that there is a place where they, along with 105 other educators who died in the line of duty, will forever be known, not for the horrific circumstances surrounding their deaths, but for the passionate and heartfelt work of their lives, educating, supporting, nurturing our nation's future. At the same time, I hope that this memorial does more than honor our fallen educators, whether they were teachers, custodians, bus drivers, or principals. But I hope that it also helps to educate and activate citizens and policymakers to make our schools safer. Because without that commitment and the resources and policies we need, we will continue to add names to this memorial. In Newtown, the violence that ripped through Sandy Hook not only cost us our precious lives of our students, colleagues, and friends, but it also cost us a sense of security. For many of us, when we returned to our schools and classrooms, we felt insecure about fulfilling our most sacred duty, the teaching and nurturing of our students, while keeping them safe. All of a sudden, as teachers, we didn't feel like we were teaching in a safe environment. All of a sudden, we felt helpless and vulnerable. Schools have always been places of sanctuary and centers for our communities. Yet in recent years, we have seen multiple tragedies at schools across the country. More than half of the fallen educators included on this memorial died during the past 14 years. And just this week, the tragedy at Reynolds High School in Oregon, the 74th school shooting since Sandy Hook, once again reminds us that school safety is an issue that must be addressed. My hope and my prayer is that this memorial will help to inspire local, state, and national leaders to make school safety a top priority and ensure that no other community, no other school, no other teacher, no other school support personnel, no other administrator, no other student, no other parent has to go through what we went through on December 14th, 2012, and to continue to go through each and every day. We all are Newtown. Thank you.
And now we welcome Dr. Anthony Salvatore, who is here from the Newtown, Connecticut Administrators Union.
Good afternoon, Hall of Fame honorees, families and friends of fallen educators, fellow educators, and guests. I'm honored to be here as the president and soon to be retiring president of the Newtown Association of School Administrators, as well as a representative of the American Federation of School Administrators on behalf of President Diane Woodard, who sends her congratulations to our honorees and best wishes to you all. I'm not only honored to be here today on behalf of my fellow administrators from Newtown and the American Federation of School Administrators, but more so as a colleague and friend of those fellow fallen educators we remember today, and the 6 professional educators with whom I worked at Sandy Hook Elementary School, especially my close friend, Dawn Lafferty Oxburn. Over the past year and a half, I've learned how important it is to listen to people's stories about their personal healing journey and how critical that support is day to day, week to week, month to month, and year to year for the rest of our lives. From Newtown to Littleton, from Red Lake High School to Virginia Tech, and everywhere in between, we've all been touched in some way by the loss and bravery of our children and colleagues. The National Teachers Hall of Fame and this memorial to fallen educators embrace these stories and become our sentinels of hope and pride that guide us along the path of our individual journeys, where personal recovery is more of a marathon than a race. I pledge to you today that you, fellow survivors, who will also never be forgotten, and I invite you to join me next year in Connecticut and share your stories with other survivors from people around this country on June 28th and 29th, the date of what would have been Dawn's 50th birthday, and we certainly would have had one heck of a party. At what I call the Balma P. Dreamcatcher Unconference for Survivors of School Violence and Loss at Mohegan Sun Conference Center. You see the words Balma P. are on a dream catcher that were brought to us 3 days after the shooting at Sandy Hook from students at Red Lake High School. You may have read about it in the newspaper. They drove 26 hours straight to bring us the dream catcher, and hopefully that would be its final resting place. They received it from students at Columbine High School who brought it to Red Lake hoping that would be the last place. And Columbine received it from a wonderful young grandmother, Indian grandmother in Muskegon, Wisconsin, who created the Dreamcatcher, to send it to Columbine, as that would be the one and last place it would be. And when I met her recently in Michigan at a conference in November, she had no idea it had gone from Columbine to Red Lake and ended up in Sandy Hook, which now hangs in our central office in Newtown, Connecticut. And I made them the promise that hopefully I would never have to fulfill the promise of taking it to another location, that it would stay there forever. So from the native Odawa language, the words Bamapi say it best, let us see each other again. It is with great pleasure and pride to be able to present our personal contribution of $5,000 from 17 Newtown administrators to this memorial of fallen educators. We feel it is important for future generations around the world to know the stories of these unselfish and heroic educators who dedicated their lives to their children, colleagues, schools, communities, and families, often in that order, I suspect. They will not be forgotten, and we are grateful to be part of such a positive part of our new normal. And I think is this the time I present this. I've never had to make one of these before.
It means so much that Newtown, Connecticut is a partner with us, because they're doing a huge fundraising effort to build the playground and remember the children and the educators that were taken away in 2012. So to be partnered with them is such a wonderful experience. So we are so deeply in gratitude to you. Thank you. Okay, and next, I want to welcome to the podium Dr. Andy Tompkins, who is the President and CEO of the Kansas Board of Regents, and they had final approval of what we're doing over there at 18th and Merchant. So I say thank you, Dr. Tompkins.
Thank you all, and thank you all for being here today. On behalf of the Kansas Board of Regents, I want to thank the National Teachers Hall of Fame and Emporia State University, the donors, for making this all possible, for the vision that brought this forward for this wonderful community and for our nation. And for those people who are here who are family members of people who are fallen educators, I want you to know that your sacrifice touches us as it inspires us, and we're honored to be in your presence. I'm personally honored to be here today as an educator and citizen who has been a part of the collective grieving over the events that have taken place in this nation, which have led to this memorial dedication today. The Rotary Club, some of you may be a part of that, has a motto that I think is appropriate to this remembrance, and that is service above self. It seems also appropriate on an occasion like this to reflect on those educators who've made a difference in our lives, and to use this occasion as a time to renew our gratitude for those who have dedicated their careers and lives to the growth and development of others. This is certainly a humbling experience, but one in which I feel both sorrow and pride. Sorrow in the sacrifice made by those we honor, and pride in the profession that makes hope possible in the lives of people throughout the world. May those of us who have been privileged to be here today never forget these heroes, and recommit ourselves to building a better, safer tomorrow for this and future generations. Thank you.
And now please welcome to the podium our representative from District 64 in the Kansas Legislature, our own Don Hill.
Thank you, and on behalf of my colleagues in the Kansas Legislature, especially our Senator Jeff Longbine, who had to be in the other end of his district today on constituent situation at Fort Riley, I want to welcome all of you, and especially those who've traveled a long distance, family members, colleagues, and loved ones of our fallen heroes. For decades, our quaint one-room schoolhouse has stood at the edge of Emporia State University campus overlooking the Neosho River Valley. The one-room school has been both symbolic and had symbolic as well as as real value and purpose as it captures both the history of education and the promise for a brighter tomorrow. Now the one-room school location, which thousands drive by every day and see, and thousands more visit on a yearly basis, will share that hillside with a new neighbor, which will create a living tribute to fallen heroes and the heroes among us. It is with a sense of commitment, pride, and honor that Emporia and the Emporia State University communities assume the responsibility to pay homage, to protect, and to share the legacy of our fallen educators. Our collective efforts are today and will forever be characterized by reverence, but most of all gratitude for the lives we honor with the memorial and for the many lives fallen educators have touched and will continue to touch through this memorial. Again, welcome and thank you.
Thank you so much, Don. And now representing our U.S. Senator Jerry Moran is his district representative who was here at the groundbreaking 1 year ago, Mr. Bill Maness.
Good afternoon and welcome. It's an honor to be here today and to represent Senator Moran at this time for the dedication of the memorial to fallen educators. Senator Moran is committed to support education both in our great state of Kansas and across the nation. He recognizes that in order to be successful, schools need students who want to learn, dedicated teachers who are committed to helping each student reach their full potential, administrators who are goal-oriented, and supportive parents and community members who reinforce the concepts and expectations that are taught in our schools. I've often heard Senator Moran say, I am inspired when I visit the Kansas educators about the creative ways in which they teach their students and motivate them for the school day. They change the world for the better, one student at a time. The Senator recognizes that we must increase the number of qualified teachers in our classrooms and that educating teachers is a noble calling. And the National Study of Teacher Education Programs, Emporia State, was named one of only four post-secondary institutions in the nation to be identified as an exemplary model of teacher education. Given Emporia State's long history and dedication to training teachers, the university, as you might expect, hosts the National Teachers Hall of Fame, and it seems appropriate that Emporia State University would be the location chosen to recognize those educators who have given their lives while doing what they enjoy and performing the duties of their calling. For the past 150 years, Emporia State has been changing lives, and this memorial to fallen educators will ensure that those lives were not cut short, that their lives that were cut short in that effort are not forgotten. Thank you.
And now I'm pleased to welcome to the podium Dennis Van Rokel, who is the president of the National Education Association. And he has been our mover and shaker in terms of finding names for the wall and also for encouraging state association members to get involved, both financially and contributing and also helping us to find these educators. And many education association representatives are here today, and probably because Dennis sent you a memo. So I'm pleased to welcome Mr. Dennis Van Rokel.
Thank you very much. You know, as a 23-year veteran of a high school math class, I am honored to be here for this occasion on this very special day. Within the 3 million members of NEA, I can guarantee that any job done by an adult in a public school system is represented by some one of our members. And I often, when speaking to our members around this country, pose 2 questions to them. Number 1, I say, why did you choose to work in education? Regardless of what job you do, why did you choose to use that skill in education? And the second question is, why do you keep coming back every year? No matter how many obstacles are thrown in the way, no matter what the challenges are, they just keep coming back year after year. And it is the answer to those 2 questions that is the source of their energy, their passion, and their commitment of what they do each and every day. And I've always felt such an honor to be part of that profession, because I believe they have a set of special skills beyond and above the exact knowledge they need to do that one part of their job. It's their commitment to people, to students of all ages from pre-K to graduate school. And their ability, those special professional skills that can look at a child's face and know whether they need a hug or a push, when they have a question before they open their mouth. It is a set of skills that too often are not recognized. And each and every day, they are first responders to every need a child has. There is nothing they won't do. There is nothing they won't give that they have to allow a child to fulfill and follow their dream. And today we're here to recognize some first responders who went way beyond what they ever dreamed of giving. And it is our time to recognize those 113 people, not only for what they did for children of all ages, but what they believed deep in their heart and why they did it. So we're here to recognize and honor, and more than that, to pledge that their contribution, their life, their sacrifice will never be forgotten. Thank you.
We have a little surprise for Dennis. I'm going to turn this over to Melinda Wetzel, our chair of the Board of Trustees of the National Teachers Hall of Fame.
The National Teachers Hall of Fame would like to recognize Dennis. First of all, he came through Kansas City this morning and has to leave this afternoon right after this to get back to a flight to go back to Washington, D.C. But we would like to recognize Dennis for what he's done for the Hall of Fame. The Friend of Education Award was created in 2002 to honor those who are not currently educators, but who have made a significant impact in the education field. As president of the National Education Association, which represents 3 million public school employees, he leads the nation's largest labor union and advocates for quality schools. Dennis became involved with the National Teachers Hall of Fame in a big way 4 years ago and has been instrumental in our continuing success. Past recipients of this award include Christina DeVita, who was the president of the Wallace Foundation, Richard Riley, who was a former U.S. Department of Education secretary, James B. Hunt, who was the governor of North Carolina, and Laura Welch Bush, who was a former First Lady. It is my pleasure at this time to present Dennis Van Roekel with an award with the National Teachers Hall of Fame Friend of Education Award. Thank you for all you've done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dennis, for all you do. It's amazing. And now, the keynote speaker. This lady represents every teacher in America, every person who has anything to do with education. She is the senior advisor to the U.S. Secretary of Education, Arne Duncan. And so if I were to describe her, I would say she is the power behind that position. She's the one who tells him what to say and do, right, Ruth Ann? Yeah, okay. She brings you words from the U.S. Department of Education, and we are so pleased that she is here to share in today's event. Ruth Ann Buck.
What a warm welcome and what a wonderful turnout and crowd. I want to thank Carol and Emporia State University on behalf of the Secretary of Education. It's an honor to be here, and the Secretary deeply regrets that he couldn't be here today. It's also an honor to be among so many distinguished guests and electeds, and of course the national leaders of the associations. It's a proud day, but a hard day. While it's an honor to be asked to visit the National Memorial to the 113 educators who have lost their lives while serving the communities and children of this country, it is sad that they had to. I am here on behalf of the U.S. Department of Education to honor the many who have lost their lives and to honor the national imperative we have to remember them and their sacrifice. Some of these educators include the Sandy Hook Six, Chuck Poland, Michael Lansbury, Colleen Ritzer, but there are so many more. There are probably ones we don't know. They should be forever remembered and loved, and they will be through this lasting tribute. Memorials like these help us celebrate the heroism of our nation's educators, but it also should make us understand that there is a cause for action. Just this week, there was another school shooting when a teen gunman, armed with a rifle, shot and killed a student and injured a teacher before killing himself in the school. The president said of that shooting in Portland, Oregon, the country has to do some soul searching about this. That soul searching should beg the question, how have we allowed so many to fall? And I wonder how many teachable moments, like the tragedy at Reynolds High School, our students and teachers will have to go through before we make providing safe and healthy schools a priority in this nation. Before we say no more senseless violence. The U.S. Department of Education's role in school safety is to assist local and state education agencies as well as institutions of higher education in their efforts to plan for and to respond to any emergency. We work with schools responding to horrific school violence, also providing financial assistance through aid, consultation, and training, technical assistance programs, but that isn't enough. After the tragedy at Sandy Hook Elementary, the president released a plan to protect our children and our communities by reducing gun violence, making schools safer and increasing access to mental health services. He understands that before learning can take place, schools must be safe places. They must be safe for administrators, students, and teachers. Our communities cannot be expected to thrive while paralyzed by the fear of violence. We must do more, and it is my sincere hope that we do. Of course, when I see the pictures of this memorial, I don't think about technical assistance or plans. I think about Newtown and Midland City and Sparks and Danvers and Columbine and the 36 states who have been victims, who have lost the pillars of our community and our educators and the future of our communities and our children. To stop the nonstop string of violence in schools, where our children and our teachers are supposed to be safe, we as a nation are going to have to decide that they're worth it and that we can overcome our political differences and work towards safe environments and preemptive services on behalf of our most precious commodities. On behalf of Secretary Duncan, I'd like to thank Carol and the National Teacher Hall of Fame for recognizing these fallen heroes and all the donors who made this memorial possible. But it is my hope that we never etch another name into the granite. Thank you for having me here today.